Listen, so I've already done the Dark Soul, well, Soulsborne tier list. I thought I'd do a Resident Evil one now. There are a few games on here that I've never played, so I'm probably just going to leave them to the side. Um, if I know enough about one that I haven't played, then I'll probably include it, like maybe Survivor. Otherwise, I did move this list around earlier, so pretty much everything after Village, but they. So we got Gaiden, Reverse, Resistance. I could probably comment on them here anyway. But then these one from there on, then I've never played. Right then, so sorry about that. Let's get on with this tier list. So, starting with RE1, the OG, the beginning of it all. Overall, I think it's actually a really good game. One of the first of its kind. The comedy in it is fucking brilliant. It's got multiple endings. The acting in it. So the idea with RE1, I think they just happened to be like American tourists in Japan at the time, and they were like, "Oh, do you mind being in this game?" And that's where those actors first came about, I think. But yeah, it's an OG game. The puzzles and are pretty great. The story's good. Um, like I say, multiple endings and stuff. As the original, I'm actually gonna put that as an A tier anyway. I wouldn't exactly plan to do these in order, but I'm just gonna go along this list now from this point on. So, my favorite one now, RE2, the original. Now, I think this game is absolutely amazing. Um, you can mod it and everything to make even cooler stuff like Kendo mod and all that like that, which is brilliant. But I'm not going to include mods in this breakdown. So the story 2 is actually pretty good. And what's also cool about 2 is you got A scenario and B scenario, but you got that for both characters, so you actually get different cutscenes, tidbits of story, different item pickups, all that kind of stuff. A couple of little secret things within there as well, like to do with Brad being under the police station if you get there without picking up any items. Um, and you also can have the Hunk and Tofu extra mode, so that was pretty cool. But I absolutely love 2. It is my favorite of the entire series. So you again, S, my friend, without a shadow of a doubt. I'd actually argue as well, because 3 has got pretty much the same formula, just a bit more added to it. What I do like about 3 is that you go around the city rather than normal buildings and stuff. And you got Nemesis chasing you, which majority of the time is nearly every time actually. There's only a couple times you have to fight him, but when you do fight him, he drops items, which could be anything from aid sprays to new gun parts and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. I do believe if you beat him every time, the last thing he drops you is infinite ammo, which you can apply to a gun of your choosing, which can be convenient to be fair. Um, uh, Despite it being quite linear, well, no, is it linear? Yeah, I'd say it's fairly linear 3, but uh, you can do a lot of backtracking in it. And plus, depending on the order of what you do certain things, um, you can get different cutscenes and all that kind of stuff. You can get different outcomes. There's a lot of randomizing in 3 anyway, like item placements and everything. So that's why for speedrunners it's a very difficult one because you never get the perfect randomizer on there. But yeah, I think 3 is fantastic. I'm gonna put it up there with number 2 actually. I think they're both amazing games. 2 is my favorite of all time, but I think 3 would be a close second on that. Now 4. Now, for the record, guys, this is just my opinion, right? So this is where I think Resident Evil stopped becoming Resident Evil, in my opinion. I didn't like it 4 when it came out. I did play the Mercenaries mode, all the rest of it, the DLC kind of stuff with Ada. But overall, I didn't like 4. It felt like a step away from the old virus thing. Even though it is a virus in the game, it just had a different feel to it. I'm a big fan of the old fixed camera angle thing as well. So it kind of like lost a lot of the options. I'm not sure where you're on about with it. But yeah, number 4. So like I say, the story now I couldn't get behind that, but I will say 4 did revolutionize the over-the-shoulder gameplay for a lot of shooting games and stuff. So, like I said, I don't like 4. So for me, you know, like I said, it was the beginning of all the shooting thing. So you know, it locks you in place before you can take a shot. Now the controls on it were a nightmare. I've tried playing different variations of it, and I still don't like the controls. It's not as a bad game overall. I just feel like it's detached from Resident Evil. So I'm actually going to put that into C. Resident Evil 0. So 0, to be fair, does have the fixed camera angles. Arguably some of the best pre-rendered backgrounds in the entire series. Story's not half bad, but you get 2 characters. For some reason, they changed the controls to this game that are universally the same in every other Resident Evil. So I don't know what the fuck they did that for. And on top of that, they got a different system where you can drop items to pick them back, or pick up a different one, all that kind of thing. You get this item that's automatically, that you need only 3 times in the game, but you don't know when you need it. And that takes up 2 slots. So you might have to double back to go pick it up from a room you left it at, all that kind of stuff. So that's really annoying. There's no box in RE0 unless you're modding it on a PC. So I'm actually going to put... Like I say, everything else about it's pretty decent. Weapons system, the weapons in general and all that are pretty cool. You also got a mode where you can play as Wesker, which is kind of cool. But I'm going to stick that in the C category as well. Survivor. Actually, I'd argue I don't know enough about Survivor, actually, so I'm not going to include that. Let me put that over here. Resi with Sekiro controls. It wouldn't be that bad, actually. Right, so RE1 remake, right? Now, I'll start with the bad point of this. The one thing I really don't like about RE1 remake is the old cutscenes are they've changed the dialogue to them, like, you know, they got rid of the Jill sandwich one for like, oh, you would have fit between 2 pieces of bread, something like that. So it's like, okay, effectively it's the same line, but it don't have the same delivery or that kind of stuff. Master of lockpicking, it don't have the same cheesy nonsense to it, like. So that was a down. That would be my only downside, really, of RE1 remake. Other than that, it's an amazing remake. They took everything that was already there and improved upon it, added to it. Arguably one of the best remakes of anything ever made. So that's actually going to go into S tier. I think they done an absolute amazing job with that. RE2 remake. So I do like RE2. The remake was good. Cutscenes are now pretty cool. The environment, the zombies. It's just, you know, once again, you don't got the over-the-shoulder aiming. No, sorry, you have got that in RE2 remake, and I just find it takes away from the horror element. Or at least what I loved about those games. So, you still got the Hunk thing and as DLC in this game. The costumes in there. I don't know where to put it though. It's definitely I wouldn't put it on the S ranks. No, because it's not a true. So earlier on when I mentioned with number 2, where you can actually do multiple things in AOB scenario and you get different cutscenes and all that kind of stuff. None of that happens in 2 remake. The bosses you fight now are fixed. Like Leon in remake has to fight wait a minute, which way is it around? He has to fight Tyrant at the end, whereas Claire has to fight William. You know, they basically get the same bosses all the way through. It's no, I really didn't like that aspect. So I think I'm actually gonna put this by you. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll put that at B tier. I did enjoy it. I've played it loads. But just because it took something great and the thing is, like I said, they managed to do such a good job with 1 and then they fucked up on 2. And right, I don't even think I need to explain myself on this one, okay? RE3 remake, that's instantly going into D. If there was a lower category, I'd put her in there. If again, 3 remake was abysmal. Like Nemesis looks like shit. Half the game is bloody missing. It was more of a DLC to 2 at the time. Like it's really bad. Barely any replay value to it whatsoever. Most of the difficulties that you've got are practically just the same thing over and over again until you go to the final difficulty, which is Inferno. You can add categories, but I won't bother messing around right now. So yeah, so RE3, absolutely abysmal. The remake, not the original's awesome. The remake is like got literally one of the best intros ever. You know, the original, but the 3 remake, nah, piece of shit. Right, 4. Now I'm gonna contradict myself, but yeah, because I put an original 4 into the seed category, right? Remake 4 is amazing. They've done a fantastic job to it. Added extra elements like the deflection thing with a knife and now, which I thought was pretty cool. I think they changed the weapons now. The only real dig that I ever take against RE4 remake is the voice acting. Now, I'm not trying to discredit the actual voice actors that are in there. It's more like they got rid of most of the originals anyway by that point. But the one that I really take issue with is changing the merchant's voice. It's like, how dare you? How dare you get rid of that voice? So, ignoring that, gameplay, everything else, like 1 remake, it took everything that existed and improved upon it. I'm actually going to put it as an S tier. Yeah, because they done a marvelous job with that one. And like I said, I don't even like the original 4. That's how highly I think of the remake. Like Code Veronica. Code Veronica is actually really good. It's one of the last ones they did with a fixed camera angle. I think. Fairly long game, depending on how you play it in there. It's got a variety of weapons. Pretty decent story if you enjoy laughing at Alfred being a fucking madman and his sister complex. Okay. Well, he thinks he's his sister or something like that. But yeah, overall it's a really good game. And if you want some laughs, just a laugh at Steve because he's just kind of pathetic. So yeah, overall it's actually a pretty good game. I think this was originally meant to be 3. I could be wrong, but I'm actually going to put that in an A category. Alright. Revelations. Now, I can't remember too much about Revelations 1. That's the one Puff played while I was with him. I don't remember it being that great. Yeah, I couldn't get into it that much, so I'm actually just gonna check that in the D category. Revelations 2. Hmm. I'm actually gonna put that in the same category because with Revelations 2, it they took 2 seems better than 1. I'll give it that in all fairness. But they basically made, oh, here's female Wesker, and it's like, well, that seems like a bit of a cop out to creating a character that to be an enemy. Okay, whatever. But then they got the thing with Claire and Barry's daughter in it, right? But for some reason, they got rid of all of Claire's actual character, pushed that onto Barry's daughter, and then changed Claire's character. Because, like, you know, in the originals and that, she was like, she was good with Sherry and that, so she's good with kids, that kind of thing. Like, but then all of a sudden, she sucks at dealing with them, and the other one's fine with it. It's just like, why did you remove her traits and pass them to someone else? But fucking, you know, just give her own set of traits. What's wrong with both of them being good at doing that? Whatever, like, you know. So I'm still gonna stick that on a D. Operation Raccoon City. Now, that's a multiplayer one. Yeah, it is lazy, right? Very lazy, right then. Now, Operation Raccoon City. Overall, honestly, I think it's a shit game. And but I did thoroughly enjoy playing it because it's a co-op game. So me and my buddies playing it. I forgot the character's name now. He's the one that's trained by Hunk. Is it Vector? He can go invisible. That's his specific trait. And you know, eventually we got to the end of the game, and you know, your choice then is either to fight Leon and Claire, or you can side with them. You get a choice in the matter, right? But something kept going wrong while we were picking the one side. So we were like, all right, we'll pick the other side. But for some reason, my one buddy couldn't join us, so it was 3 against 1. And but the thing is, as soon as the match started, I threw a grenade at him, so he ducked out of the way of the grenade. And when he ducked out of the way, as soon as he broke line of sight, I went invisible, went around the other side of him, and just shot him in the back of the head. He was like, "Oh, we completed the game." So that was kind of fun for what it was, but overall the game is pretty shit. So I'm gonna plan D. Ooh, Outbreak File 1 and 2. For argument's sake, I'm actually going to put both of these in the same category in general. Now, what I will say, these games are way ahead of their time. They've still got the fixed camera angle. They've got the online factor. I think with Virus as well, you can actually turn into a zombie for a little bit. Different routes you can take. Bunch of different characters. There's like over 200 characters to play, I think. The problem is the game was way ahead of its time. Like, for an online RE, this is what they should be focusing on. This is the exact way it needs to be done. I don't know why they bothered changing it with every other online one they've done since. But yeah, Outbreak is fucking amazing. So I'm giving them a. I would argue, like, if they were perfected, I'd put them in the S category. You know, in terms of the online side. The unfortunate thing is it came out on PS2. Now, you can play it on on PC, but you got to go through some patch to set that up, and a bit tedious. RE5. I'm gonna be honest with you, the only redeeming factor of RE5 is the odd quote that you can use from it. The gameplay, kind of shit. Inventory system, pretty shit. Overall story, kind of shit. Very grainy game. Yeah, I really didn't like 5. It's good co-op. I will say that it is good co-op. That can be a bit of fun. But I'm gonna stick that in a C category. Resi 6. Now, I'm an apologist for 6, because, like, everyone hates it. And I understand why. I completely understand why. There's plenty of bad wrong with 6. To be fair, I only really like playing Leon's campaign, just because there's zombies. I don't think you really get zombies with the others. Maybe A does. Well, Ada's got a bit of a mix and match. I do like the story concerning Ada in that game, but the overall story, kind of shit. QTEs, again, no one likes that shit. Not a fucking Resi game. I think that's inventory, and that's terrible. Co-op's okay. Each character's got their own unique thing. And on that note, that's why I actually like playing as Jake in the Mercenaries mode, because he's got the martial arts. And, you know, the martial arts make him kind of badass. But overall, as a game, yeah, you got into C category. Dead Aim. Dead Aim's okay. They kind of experimented a little bit of this one. So it's got a fixed camera angle thing to a degree. But when you actually shoot at a zombie, it goes into first person. That can be a bit tedious. I think it takes place mainly on a yacht, and then in a research place. It's not a Resi without a research facility there, but you know what I mean. But but the characters that you never hear from ever again. I did have a lot of fun playing it, but I haven't played it in years. I played it back when it first came out. I think that's another one I'm still gonna check into C category though. Oh, I know enough about RE-Verse and Resistance to just instantly throw them in D. Like I was saying about online earlier with the Resi stuff, they're just shit. Some people might enjoy it, but it's like, no, when you compare it to Outbreak, they're just shit. RE7. How to weigh this one up? Because honestly, as a game, it's actually pretty good. I really liked it. I'd argue the DLC was even more fun than the main game. Where you run around as Jack's brother, punching everything. That was fantastic. That was probably the most fun I had with it. But like, Jack is one of the best characters in RE in general. Marguerite was done really well. His son's done really well, to be fair. It's just I kind of think they messed up his thing with the DLC. He kind of not so great after that. But I can't stand Ethan. I think he's a crap character. Yeah, and I'm not too sure about the first person thing. So, where to put 7? Is B rank too kind? So overall, it is a good game. It's got the horror elements and stuff. And thing is about like the hard difficulty in it. The hardest difficulty is like, as long as you can beat Mia at the beginning, it's pretty much smooth sailing for the rest of the game in hard mode. You know, that is literally the hardest part of hard mode, is beating her at the beginning. You know, everything else that follows that is pretty simple. Yeah, I think it deserves. Yeah, because it's got replay value in there as well. Yeah, Village. I didn't think that much of Village. I like the Dimitrescu area because it was cool. Your castle thing in there. That was cool. I think her character was bigged up a little too much, no pun intended. Before the game released, but and the actual area was cool. What I noticed with 8, it was more like as if they were field testing something. Because each area is more reminiscent of different types of like horror or gameplay and stuff like that. The second area, I believe it is, where you deal with a doll. Whew, that bit even today still freaks me out. But I don't know. I think the story to it was kind of shit. Ethan again. This whole, I can't even remember what the bad guy's name is now. Mother something. Fucking Mother Teresa. I can't remember her fucking name. Christen is just boring. It's stupid. The thing of like he could have told, even now, like I know he's like, oh, we couldn't risk telling you beforehand what was gonna go down because you know we didn't want her to figure out. Fair enough. But you'd at least told him the 5 minutes after you did it. You know, so that he didn't harbor all his vengeance against you, you dumb fuck. But again, all he knows is how to punch boulders, right? So that's going into the C category. So we're left with these are the ones I pretty much haven't played at all. So that's Resi 3D. I don't know what even that's for. And we got Darkside Chronicles, Gaiden, Umbrella Chronicles. I think I've played a little bit of one of them, but I can't remember which one. Umbrella Core. I've heard of that, but I've never actually seen anything on it. I don't even know what this one is. And then Survivor. I will play Survivor at some point. I know a bullshit way to get through it. Basically, as long as you're not looking at the enemy, they're not on the screen, they can't hurt you. Just make sure they're behind you every time. So, yeah, that seems to be my tier list for, pretty bottom heavy. Yeah. Oh, that's because, you know, they're competing with these ones at the end of the day. Like I said, Outbreak, I would have put up I would have given my S rank, to be fair. The only reason I'm not, which is not exactly fair, is because they were way ahead of their time. Like, if you had that come out, just you don't even need to, like, up the graphics or nothing, really. Like, it's literally just that style of co-op, Resident Evil. That's all you need. That game would be amazing with today's, like, stuff. Why the hell they bothered making these other variations of their online stuff, I'll never know. They managed to do so much with the PS2 internet thing. And now, you know, we got all the other ones, and it's just like, no, we can't be fucked. So, but, yeah, I feel kind of happy with our list, to be honest with you. I'm not sure if I was a little too cruel to RE3 Remake, but I like the original a lot, so. Yeah, and 2 Remake, I really do like 2 Remake, but it's just, you know, you fuck with number 2, like. So yeah, I suppose that's my list. Yeah, like I won't bother with these ones just because I haven't played them. I don't know if anyone's got any comments or anything they wish to add. You wish RE1 Remake was funnier. Yeah, that's the thing. They got rid of the good comedy. So that is the one downside I did say when I went to RE1 Remake. That is literally the only downside, that they changed the original lines. So it lost its good cheesiness. Yeah, that's the only downside to that. But I would call the RE1 Remake a perfect remake. Or near perfect. Nothing's perfect. But a near perfect remake, because it took everything that existed pretty much and made it better, and it added to it. Except for the dialogue. Same with 4. 4 remake, like I don't even like original 4 that much. Maybe C rank was quite bad for that, actually. Yeah, I tell you what, I'm gonna put it up to a B because it did revolutionize a lot of stuff. I'll put 4 up, original 4 up to a B. I think I was being a bit too nasty with that one. 0. I'm not even sure 0 deserves a C. Not when I'm comparing it to the other ones. It's like, do you belong there or up here? No, I think I'll keep 0 where it is just because of the item system and the old 2-player thing. It's not even 2-player, it's just 2 characters you switch between, and changing the old control scheme. And the funny thing is, when you try to change your controls yourself, the original control scheme is still not there, so you're like, what the fuck? Yeah, so, Yeah, I think that's going to be my Resident Evil tier list.